Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up the lesson from your supplementary reader. It so happened, the fight. Now, the lesson is like this. There is a boy called Ranji. He discovers a pool in the forest and he just jumps into it for a swim. But then there is a serious trouble between him and someone else who thinks that it is his right to swim in the pool. And the fight ensues, starts. Ensues means starts. The first round ends in a draw. Now let us read this lesson. Ranji had been less than a month in Rajpur when he discovered the pool in the forest. He was just walking by the forest, and he found a pool. It was just less than a month in Rajpur. It was height of summer, very hot, and his school had not yet opened. And having as yet made no friends in this semi-hill station, he wandered about a good deal by himself into the hills and forests. So, because he was new in this place, he had not made friends, and the schools had also not opened. And so, he used to go alone for walks. He wandered about a good deal by himself into the hills and forests that stretched away interminably on all sides of the town. It was hot, very hot, at that time of the year, and Ranji walked about in his vest and shorts, his brown feet white with the chalky dust that flew up from the ground. The earth was parched, the grass brown, the tree listless, hardly stirring, waiting for a cool wind or a refreshing shower of rain. So it was hot, very hot, and it was a hill station, and all around the town was forest area, and it stretched away interminably means endlessly on all sides of the town. And Ranji was walking that day. He was in his vest and shorts. Vest, a sort of uh, undershirt, you can say, and his brown feet, they were just white with chalky dust that flew. And the earth was parched because of lack of rain. It was hot and dry and cracking. The grass was brown instead of green grass because it was summer season and the rains had not arrived, and so the grass had also turned brown color. The trees, they were lifeless and they were hardly moving, and it seemed as they were waiting for the cool wind to blow and for a refreshing shower of rain. It was on such a day, hot, tired day, that Ranji found the pool in the forest. Now, this pool was inviting him for a swim. The water had a gentle translucency. It was clear and translucent. One could see through the water, and you could see the smooth round pebbles at the bottom of the pool. The water was so clear that even the small stones, pebbles at the bottom of the pool could be seen. A small stream emerged from a cluster of rocks to feed to the pool. So, from the high above, it was a small stream that was coming and that was just pouring water into the pool. During the monsoon, the stream would be gushing torrent cascading down from the hills. But during the summer, it was barely a trickle. So, as it was summer season, so the stream was not so full of water. Otherwise, during the monsoon, the stream would be gushing with a torrent with the force of water, and the rocks, however, held the water in the pool, and it did not dry up like the pools in the plains. So he compared the village pool of the forest with the pool in the plains. When Ranji saw the pool, he did not hesitate to get into it. He had often gone swimming alone and with friends when he had lived with his parents in the thirsty town in the middle of Rajputana desert. So he used to go for a swim with his friends or alone in the Rajputana desert pool. There he had known only sticky, muddy pools. It compares the pool in the hill station Rajpur and the Rajputana desert. The Rajputana desert pool was sticky and muddy, where buffaloes wallowed and women washed clothes. He had never seen a pool like this. Rajpur pool was so clean and cold and inviting, as if asking him to dive into the pool. He leapt into the water. His limbs were supple, free of any fat, and his dark body glistened in the patches of sunlight water. His limbs were very slim, and they were not fat, and his dark body was shining in the sunlight that was reflecting in the water. The next day he came again to quench his body in the cool waters of the forest pool. He liked it, and so he came again the next day to have a swim and relax his body. He was there for almost an hour, sliding in and out of the limpid green water and lying stretched out on the smooth yellow rocks in the shade of broad-leaved sal trees. It was while he lay thus that he noticed another boy standing a little distance away, staring at him in rather hostile manner. So he had a good swim, and then he was relaxing. But then he found that there was another boy, a little older than him. He was taller, he was thick-set, well-built, with a broad nose and thick red lips. He had just noticed Ranji, and when Ranji did not say anything, the other boy called out, "What are you doing here, mister?" So this boy said, "What are you doing here?" Ranji, who was prepared to be friendly, was taken aback at the hostility of the other's tone. The other person was not friendly. His tone was not friendly. Ranji wanted to make friends. Then Ranji replied, "I am swimming," he replied. "Why don't you join me?" He asked him to come with me. "I always swim alone," that boy said. "I prefer swimming alone. This is my pool," he said. "This pool belongs to me, and I did not invite you here. You have no right to swim in this pool because I have not given you any invitation." The stranger strode up to Ranji, who still sat on the rock, and planting his broad feet firmly on the sand, said, as though this would settle the matter once for all, "Don't you know I'm a warrior? I don't take replies from villagers like you." So his voice was very threatening. And he said that, "Don't you know I'm a warrior and I don't accept replies from villagers like you." "So you like to fight with villagers," said Ranji. "Well, I'm not a villager, I'm a fighter." He replied back and he said, "Well, let me tell you, you love to fight with villagers, but I'm not a villager, I am a fighter." "I am a warrior," the other boy said, and Ranji said, "I am a fighter." So now we see that both were in fighting mood. The challenge was thrown by the other boy, and Ranji received the challenge by saying that he is a fighter. So this fight began on a small issue. That other boy felt that the pool belonged to him, and he will not allow anyone to swim in that pool. We'll stop here and we'll continue with the remaining in the next class.